I was appalled
Appalled? What do you mean?
when I turned the game on and saw him going on. Dude,
Wait, why?
the things he was doing was
Wait, what were you appalled
outstanding.
by? Like in a good way?
Like, yeah. Like, I was just shocked. I mean, I knew that Bol Bol was good, and I knew that they were talking to him, like, about him in a way of, like, a sleeper pick in the draft. But we really didn't see a lot of him. We saw him in the summer league, but he really didn't play. Dude, he came out yesterday and balled out. I mean, dude, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 blocks.
Yeah.
And it's an exhibition, so we got to pump the brakes a little bit.
Wizards, worst team probably there.
Yeah,
Them or the Nets, yeah.
Dude, but to have a rookie do something like that in, like, his real first game-ish, like, type thing, incredible.
No, it was sweet because I really haven't been watching too much college hoops over the past, like, 5 or 6 years, to be honest with you. I just really haven't. And I've started doing some of the sports talk stuff with Moats and everything. So I'm trying to get more and more into everything. You know what I mean? I've always been into NBA and NFL, but now I'm trying to, because everything starts to bleed together. You know, in terms of college football, college basketball now, and all that type of stuff. So I didn't really know too much about Bol Bol. I know about him mainly from 2K, actually, because they made, like, a dope Bol Bol, like,
Really?
Galaxy Opal card who was, like, awesome. But at the same time, I hadn't seen him play on the Nuggets at all, and, he was in the G League a little bit, so I hadn't seen him play. It was one of those things, even with Michael Porter Jr., I was always hearing all this hype with Porter Jr., and the Nuggets kind of stealing him in the draft, and now with Bol Bol, you're kind of hearing the same thing. There's all this upside, but, man, we haven't seen him play yet. He's thrown up good stats with Oregon. And then I was even just looking recently, a lot of people were down on him saying, one, kind of due to injuries, but a lot of people were saying, like, oh, his attitude is bad, or, he's not the best defender, and this and that. I think a lot of that stuff's probably more smokescreen than anything because, dude, you see him play
I look
yesterday.
at numbers.
Yeah, well, even at Oregon, you look at his numbers at Oregon and what he was able to do there. And what's crazy is I was looking at his Oregon highlights. He looks bigger at Oregon.
Yeah.
Like, and I think if he can get his weight up too, like, I think his dexterity and his ability to move will be better the bigger he gets. You know what I mean?
So the NBA came out, and they said that they're treating that exhibition as like a preseason game, basically. The same thing as a preseason game. If you treat it as a preseason game, he's the only rookie in 20 years to register at least 15, 10, and 5 in a preseason game. 20 years. Think of the players we've seen in the last 20 years. 20 years. I mean, dude,
it's one of
sell
those
me
things,
some Bol Bol.
It's one of those things where we talked about this. It's one game, exhibition game, Wizards, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, whenever they were trying to, the Pelicans, whenever they were trying to work Zion into the rotation in the regular season, even preseason, when you watch them in preseason, like, some of those dunks and stuff is like, all right, Zion sticks out. As much as you want to try to hold him back and you don't want to push him too hard right off the bat and preserve his career, if a dude can play, if a dude can make an impact, you want to get him on the court. So that's my thing with Bol Bol, and this is kind of one of my questions. This is one of my questions, dude, like, because I think the blocks, like, that's huge impact. Like,
huge.
The one block, the dude, he was, like, around the free throw line. He was making a move.
It was like 3-4 feet away.
But yeah, it was like 5 feet away from my vantage point. And he was open. Like, it was an open shot.
Yeah.
He threw it up. Bol Bol jumps. He puts his hand up and blocks it.
Wow.
Like, that is something that could be.
You just don't see it.
Yeah, that could be a pretty decent impact there. And, like, if
It's the eye test.
Dude, if you play him they had him at the small forward to start off.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be able to keep him off the court for these playoffs coming up here.
Over the past 15
At least give him like 15, 20 minutes.
I remember when Porzingis came in the league. They were talking about he's like the only guy in the past. So Bol Bol's the second guy in the past 15 seasons to be at least 7'2" and play at the small forward position. And, dude, he's stroking threes. Dude, I'm telling you, sell me some Bol Bol. I could see them being a severe problem in the NBA in the future. They got Jokic.
Oh, they were talking about, dude.
They got
wait
Nikola.
Wait till I tell you this.
They got Bol Bol. They got Jamal Murray. Dude.
You ready to hear this, though?
No Will Barton. I mean.
You ready to hear this? So, Paul Millsap is done with his contract next year. That's $30 million off the books.
Yeah.
Also, Plumlee, that's $14 million off the books. They have enough to sign a max player next year. Jamal Murray, Bol Bol, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., and they could bring in a max player if they wanted. I don't know who the max players are this upcoming summer, but
It's Giannis.
yeah.
We're joking with it happens. First ones to say it.
What's Giannis still got? Does he have one more year?
I think so.
I think it should.
I think I don't know. No, I think
It might. Is it 2 more?
No, I think that I don't
Let me
know.
look it
Actually,
up.
look it up.
Dude, but no, that's wild. Like if they're
Yeah.
the way they're talking about Porter Jr.
Yeah.
And if you watch some of his
Yo,
highlights
yeah,
and shit,
he's the truth too.
he
Yeah.
looks legit. And then Bol, the main thing with him is going to be health, because I think just from watching yesterday, like if he can start filling out his body a little bit, you could tell. Like I said, if you watch the Oregon highlights, he looked like he was able to move a lot better at Oregon just because his body was a little bit bigger. If he's able to fill out his body, dude, he could be a problem, man. He could be a problem. Like he definitely has the talent too, and the ability to shoot that three. Like if anything, there was some talks that they were saying Bol Bol like shooting the three better than being inside or anything like that. Like that is wild. He can dribble pretty good. Although I do gotta ask you, was that a carry you think last year or yesterday?
I don't know, dude.
That was funny because
It was, yeah.
Well,
dude.
people were saying the funny thing to me was with Jokic being right there, like, yo, give me the ball, and
Yeah.
he's just like he just completely ignored him, came up. Dude, the spot up though, like how is someone blocking that?
You can't.
How is someone blocking that? He's got the range, like he's got the stroke, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to look up this Giannis contract here. Hold on 1 second. Worst case, we'll just cut this.
Yeah. No Gary Harris yesterday. No Torrey Craig.
Yeah.
No Will Barton. No Jamal Murray.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, are we jumping the gun saying, "Oh, can he get time in the playoffs, this and that?"
I just think
Just because of who was not playing. You're right. At the same time, dude, it's one of those things. If he keeps playing like this, because they're obviously going to play him through exhibition games.
Yeah.
They're obviously probably going to play him through the regular season because they're already locked in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And home court advantage doesn't mean anything.
What do you got to lose?
Yeah. So he's going to be playing some. I'm sure they're going to be like testing this out and saying like, yo, can we carve out 15, 20 minutes for him for the playoffs? And that could be a big impact.
Even the NBA TV people were saying yesterday, or a couple of the announcers, when he had that block, the one we were talking about earlier where the guy was like 3, 4, 5 feet away, and he just, every time that, Rui Hachimura, any of those players tried to drive in on him, they were like very, very concerned with what's out there and what can possibly happen to you. And I mean, dude, I'll tell you who was the first real person that, like, because I knew Bol Bol in college, I knew he was an underdog. Shaq. Dude, I'm sitting there one day, and I might have to pull up the clip for you here. He goes on, he's like, "Oh, I'm taking healthy Bol Bol over Zion right now."
They were talking about the
I'm
first pick.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you're taking, he's like, "Healthy Bol Bol, I'm taking him over Zion." I'm like, wow. I'm like, you're tripping. And then, my brother came out, and, my younger brother, he was like, "Oh, dude, Bol Bol's the truth. Don't sleep on him." I'm like, dude, get out of here. Bol Bol's the truth. And then comes out and does this and makes me look like an idiot. But, I mean, dude, it's
But dude, I think you're still taking Zion and Ja easily.
100%. Yeah,
easily.
Dude, 100%, dude. Zion and Ja are just generational talents, in my opinion. I mean, you get them.
Who you taking, Zion or Ja?
Ja.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Really? Why is that?
I think that Ja, I mean, I'm not jumping the gun here. We've only seen him a rookie year. But he's like 5 players in one. It's something I've never seen.
So I'm looking at the Giannis contract right now, dude. This year's 2019-2020 season.
Yeah.
Next year he's under contract 2020,
Yeah.
2021. Free agent after that. One more year. One more year for Giannis.
Who's he going to?
Wow, dude. I don't know.
We got
I really don't know. It all comes down to what you want,
Yeah.
man, because he's talked about wanting to stay with the Bucks and try to make a legacy there and that type of thing. At the same time, talk is cheap in a way, where
Talk is cheap.
if he doesn't feel like the Bucks are going in the direction he wants, Nuggets, wow.
Dude.
The way they would have to do that then is with the $44 million off the books, they would have to sign 2 one-year contracts, just a 1-year contract with someone, so that space could free up again. Well, they might have some people coming off the books after next year anyway, so where
And it's a long time away, you know what I mean? And I think that Dude, I mean, if Giannis can't get it done in the playoffs and they make an early exit this year and they really have an average year next year, I have no doubt in my mind he's going to go to the Warriors.
Giannis to the Warriors.
I have
really.
No doubt. I have no doubt in my mind.
Why the Warriors?
100%.
Why the
I
Warriors?
just think that, dude, he's going to chase rings. He's going to be like all these other guys. And, I think to think about is think of how all these players are in a small enclosed space. I'm not saying it's small. It's Disneyland's a big-ass place, but they're in a small bubble.
Here.
Dude, there's going to be some talks, and, they're already saying that there's insiders within the NBA that are in the bubble. They're leaking stuff saying that the next super team is going to 100% come from here.
Just kind of like the U.S. It wasn't the dream team. It was one of those. It was the 08 U.S. team.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they talked
Dude,
about
it's just like,
LeBron and Bosh and Wade starting to talk about that type of shit.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for the NBA, but I just don't know how I like that for guys like Ja. You know what I mean? For guys like that, because it's gonna force players like that to have to, move unless players are going to come to them, and I just don't see that. I just don't see like a
going to Bucks or Memphis.
Yeah, I just don't see anyone going to a small market team like that. Unfortunately, I mean,
I could see Luka staying.
Yeah,
kind of like a Dirk thing where he's gonna stay there. Cuban's gonna take care of him and try to do everything he can.
Luka's
and
good enough.
Dallas is a decent market.
Dallas is a decent market. They have a. They won a championship not that long ago. I mean, just a little bit ago, but
this is what I mean with Cuban too, being the owner he is, and just whatever type of management he has under him, like trading for Porzingis, like he's gonna try to pull out all the stops 100%. To make a really good team for Doncic.